Hello, this is Mad Boosting. Today I'm going to give you the history of the R32 Nissan Skyline GT-R. It came out in 1989 and the body style ended in 1994. There's the front view of the R32 Nissan Skyline GT-R. Here is a rear view of the R32 Nissan Skyline GT-R, years 89 to 94. Here is a very nice front profile view of the R32 Nissan Skyline GT-R. Here is a rear and side view of the 1989 through 1994 Nissan Skyline GT-R R32. Here's a nice side profile of the 1989 through 1994 Skyline R32 GT-R. Here's a nice interior and instrument cluster view of the 1989 through 1994 Nissan Skyline GT-R. What a nice interior. Here is a nice picture of the RB26 DETT engine in all the R32 Nissan Skyline GT-R cars. What a nice looking engine. How many inline sixes are on Nissans in the States? None since after 1984. Unless you're lucky enough to import one of these GT-Rs to the States. You can on some of them because now they're over 25 years old. So now's the time. Find a good deal and get one. Here are some more pictures of the Nissan Skyline GT-R. There's the rear tail light, and you see the GT-R emblem. There's a nice front view with the GT-R's headlights on. There's a nice front view of the headlight and grille. What a good looking car. Here is where all of this gets interesting. Here's a breakaway view of the RB26 twin-turbo inline-six engine in every R32 Nissan Skyline GT-R. I'll kind of take the camera around all the different breakaway views here. Here's your cam, your sprocket, your pistons, the turbo breakaway, the crankshaft, the oil pan, the front fan. There's the intake manifold. And here's the stats. RB26 dual overhead cam, electronically fuel injected twin turbo. That's what DETT stands for. 2600 cc's, dual overhead camshafts, 24 valves, ceramic twin turbochargers with intercooler. The actual bore and stroke displacement is 2568 cc's. 4 valves per cylinder. Bore is 86. And stroke is 73.7. Compression ratio 8.5 to 1. Max power is in Japanese standard called PS. It says 280 PS at 6,000 RPM. Net torque 36 kilograms at 4,400 RPM. Kind of hard to translate that, but I believe it's well over 300 horsepower from the factory, even more, and well over 350 foot-pounds of torque. Here's another little diagram of how the engine works. See the tubes go from the turbos to the intercooler, and they cool down and go to the intake manifold. That's what this diagram shows. There's a nice view of those ceramic ball bearing twin turbochargers. And there is the nice looking factory intercoolers, which many people try to buy the intercooler aftermarket. Aftermarket intercoolers in many cases are not as big as the factory one on this GT-R. And there is just a quick power band of what the engine puts out. Here is an illustration of the suspension, wheels and tires of the Skyline GT-R R32. You can see the rear and the front. There's a slight breakaway view to show the brakes. The Nissan Skyline GT-R R32 has a special Atessa system and a special super high-cast system. The super high-cast system is the four-wheel steering. You can see in the diagram it shows the angle of the front wheels, and the rear wheels turn a slight angle compared to the front. But there is four-wheel steering, and it really cuts the turning radius by a huge margin. There's a little diagram showing that. The super high-cast four-wheel steering really makes a big difference in how this car handles. And this is the Atessa system. It's the very special four-wheel drive automatic transfer case, which engages in a fraction of a second, where the car will be biasly rear-wheel drive, and at the instant moment it needs help, where the back starts to slightly break traction, the front will instantly engage within a millisecond and give you that 0 to 50% front wheel drive to help out with the situation. So you have a complete computer controlled four-wheel drive, nice full-time all-wheel drive controlled by the Atessa system. Can give you four-wheel drive on demand, right when you need it. And it almost looks like a rear-wheel drive car when it's driving, except that four-wheel drive Atessa special all-wheel drive system will keep that car in control. Amazing. There's a little diagram of how this four-wheel Atessa all-wheel drive system improves the handling. There's a nice diagram right there of how that Atessa system looks in the car. You can see the diagram showing where the front differential is, right next to the engine, mounted to the oil pan, the front drive shaft, the transmission, the transfer case, and then it leads to that rear drive shaft leading to the rear end. This shows the color combinations they offered on the R32 Nissan Skyline GT-R. Body styles 89 through 94. This brochure, this actual brochure where I'm getting these pictures, came from 1992. But 89 through 92 offered pretty much the same exact options. They just improved the newer they got. 94 was the last year of the R32, and of course it had a trim package called the V-Spec. The V-Spec was a special trim package on the GT-R to make it much better on the handling, improve its ATESA system, and super high-cast four-wheel drive, super high-cast four-wheel steering, and a special ATESA all-wheel drive, and tune it more for the track. So the V-Spec was a more track-aspired GT-R, and those ones were available from 1993 and 94 and newer GT-Rs. The R32 Nissan Skyline GT-R, a car that should have been imported to the States but never was. So the only way you can get them is wait till they're over 25 years old, which some of the R32s are over 25 years old, and you can get one. It's a real shame they never made it to the States by Nissan. But you can get a new R35 GT-R today, which they do sell from Nissan in the States. But to me, my favorites were always the R32. Look how subtle it looks. It looks like a nice, innocent sedan. Kind of similar to a Mustang. It's a two-door, four-seater. An innocent-looking coupe, but yet has the performance that'll outdo most performance cars in its league and way beyond its league. Here's some additional pictures of the interior. Look at those nice racing seats from the factory. And here's a schematic. Looks at the top view, the dimensions. There you go. Some more dimensions of this car. And that is the basics of that classic R32 Nissan Skyline GT-R. This is mad boosting. Please subscribe, please like, and please do share these videos and tell your friends. Let's get this video all around the GT-R enthusiast community. Thank you and have a great, mad boosting day.